I am Kevin Berrey, the writer and director of Mission Possible.
And action! Watch it, you jerk!
Sorry. The challenges we faced during this film were, in many ways, the kinds of things that you're going to run into if you're making a movie in New York City.
Someone just throw an umbrella. Yeah, throw them in the set.
Really, the core, the heart of this whole thing was, let's see if we can take this wireless microphone system from Senal, the AWS-2000, and bring it into the belly of the beast, the RF hell of all places. I believe it's been described as the most cluttered RF zone in the Western Hemisphere, which is Midtown Manhattan. We decided, let's see if this product works there.
Can I put this through here?
My name's Josh Allen, and I was the sound mixer on Mission Possible.
So what I do is I stick a rye coat sticky like this, and then pull off the back. And then I can stick that right between the buttons.
Kevin called me and he said, do you want to work on this project with me, testing out the new Senal wireless system? And he basically said,
if I give you this wireless kit, which you've never used before, and you show up on day one, can you deliver clean, interference-free audio? Can you give me something that I can use?
And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. But then my next thought is, I wonder how that's going to work out. It's new gear.
Okay, we're running into critical point. That receiver that we had been using for Granny, that we're not using now. Yeah, that should be an audio thing. He's gonna have it. Whatever you were using, the second channel you were using for Christine.
Yeah.
We need to give it to him.
Oh, an actual one?
Yeah.
You know, when you work with your own gear, you're comfortable with it, you sort of know the ins and outs, and you can look down at your bag, and in a couple of seconds you can know, okay, you know, I see the battery life, you know, I see the frequency, I know things are basically working.
It takes about 15 seconds to scan, and then as soon as I'm done scanning, I can sync these two by just holding them close together.
Right away I liked that the display
Camera speed,
is on the top, so it's very easy to see.
Okay. Action.
And it tells you the battery life of the receiver and the transmitter. And the battery life was very good, actually. They lasted a long time. In fact, we were trying to fake for one of the shots, we needed to show that the batteries were low, and it was, we had to scrounge around for low battery. We weren't able to kill the batteries, essentially.
And let me see your finger in. Keep that there for 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead and get that motion again.
But keep your finger a little lower, so it's, yeah, right there, like that.
My name is David Ben-yshay, and I am the production designer for Mission Possible. Once Kevin locked down the script, we started looking into a lot of how many actors we're gonna have, costume, props, location. We did a bunch of location scouts before while the writing was going on, we were doing location scouts. I mean, we went in all kinds of locations all over Midtown Manhattan. So we went out and we were like, okay, what kind of roadblocks are we gonna run into with this location?
Gosh, the rain is just... Day one, we show up, it starts just torrential downpour. It starts just really cranking.
We sacrifice for our art.
The rain is difficult, it just makes everything a little harder. You need to cover your gear and make sure it doesn't get soaked. The camera's doing the same thing. You're worried about the sound of the rain. Everybody's just trying to stay dry until they need to be out in the rain shooting.
Roll sound, please. Meeting. Roll camera speed. All right, mark it. Okay. You're rolling.
You know, it makes it difficult to see. It's a little more difficult to just look down and see your bag and see the levels and know what's going on. You just have to be intuitive with everything. But like I said, I mean, the Senal wireless system was intuitive. I could see the battery life. I could understand what was going on, even in the rain.
I never had to deal with situations where our director of photography was looking around and saying, why aren't we shooting now? Is sound ready? Are we waiting for sound? I'm holding for sound. I'm holding for the sound guy to get this thing fixed. We didn't have to deal with that.
Okay, slide in, please. Roll sound, please. Camera speeds. Dave Baker, hit 7. Art.
Regular? I like to think that AWS stands for awesomeness. One touch in less than 15 seconds.
It was just fun to have that hot dog stand set up.
Through the meetings, we were trying to figure out different ways that a spy contact would sort of hide in plain sight.
And we kind of set our hearts on Madison Square Park, the south entrance, and found out that if we want to put down a hot dog vending cart, even a fake one, that we would have to get a permit.
And because of all the red tape and all the restrictions, we realized that we could not have an actual functioning hot dog cart.
That was my first time getting a permit in New York City, drawing diagrams saying, look, we're not selling actual hot dogs, okay? I promise. David Ben-yshay said, I'm confident I can
make something that looks like a hot dog cart but isn't.
He was advertising hot dogs for $1, which I think is probably $4 cheaper than you can actually get a hot dog. So people kept trying to buy hot dogs.
The first challenge was making sure the product worked. It sounded excellent, and it worked in Flatiron. It worked in the area that we knew we wanted to shoot, which is extremely cluttered.
Shooting exteriors in New York can be tough, but Midtown Manhattan is probably the toughest area, as far as frequencies flying around everywhere. But there's also just a lot of noise. There's traffic, crowds, sirens, planes flying overhead, and it's all pretty unpredictable. You really just have to kind of rely on your system as far as the frequencies, and you need to scan frequently.
Everything in a film is a challenge. The thing I'm afraid of going into a project like this is, did I aim too high? You don't know, like if you set the bar too high and then you get out there and the audio system doesn't work, and you're like, I have to use some other brand of what? No, it's not gonna work. So that was the number one thing, is like, is this too ambitious? It wasn't.
So I work with the Sennheiser G3 lugs a lot. First of all, the Senals are smaller and lighter. The display is right on the top, which is a nice feature, because actually in my bag with the Sennheisers, I can't see the display while I'm mixing, and if I'm mixing and booming at the same time, I can't really look down and see what's going on. With the Senals right away, I could see the battery life very, very clearly and simply. It's easy to see, it's easy to know that you're synced for sure. It's not just like a green light, it's a little display that says sync and a little check mark, which is very clear. Like I said, we were in some kind of heavy rain. It's nice to know, okay, I can see that, it's synced.
When you sit down to edit a short film or a commercial like this, you just don't want to have problems. That's the main thing. You want to look at the footage and you want to hear it and say, oh, this is the best performance that we got, without having like massive audio problems that you say, well, we can't use the best performance. And luckily, I feel like I was able to get the best take of just about every scene that we did. And we were relying on the Senal wireless lavs every time.
We're gonna make a movie and we wanna make sure we're serving a hot dog correctly. Who's gonna eat this?
You are.
All right, let's have mustard.
That looks good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Oh, and the dollar. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you. You guys wanna get a shot of that?